Hello, this is John Majori with the Majori on Bowie, and this is the Majori on Bowie YouTube channel, where I have at least one new interview every week that always has something to do with David Bowie. And for daily content, visit the blog www.majorionbowie.com, where I have new content every single day that almost always has something to do with David Bowie. Today's interview is with Sophia Anne Caruso, a multi talented artist, singer, actress, both on Broadway and in movies and in television, who debuted the role of Girl in Lazarus, the play with music that was co created by David Bowie and debuted in New York City in 2015. It was the last project that Bowie worked on before he passed away. And Sophia worked under his tutelage. She was selected for the role by Bowie himself and received guidance from him right up until shortly before he passed away. This is actually part two of a interview, the part one of which I posted last year and will link to in the show description below. But it stands on its own. If you missed the first part, you don't necessarily need to hear it. In this part, Sophia reflects on the advice that Bowie gave her, her reaction to learning of his passing, and how he continued to be an influence, and continues still to be an influence, on her career that has only blossomed in the years since. Sophia was only 14 when she played the role of Girl, and we're going to be watching her on stage, in movies, on television, and listening to her music, and really enjoying her art for many years to come. You're not going to hear another interview like this. I am posting it on the 10th anniversary of Bowie's passing on January 10th, and it's a very special interview. So I hope you enjoy it, and remember to come back every week for a new interview that always has something to do with David Bowie. What did he tell you directly?
Oh my gosh. I think 10 years ago, did he tell me directly? Is that what you're just talking about? Like the memory, you don't remember exactly the thing, but you remember the feeling?
Well, what did you take from what he like?
Just that uh, he was still a person. Like I remember he was wearing like Vans, I think, one day in rehearsal, and it's like in your head you think David Bowie like must be extravagant or like this walking sort of alien creature. No, like he was a person. So I remember the way that I felt, and I remember in my audition with him, I was so nervous, and he put me at ease. He had a very I'd sprinted all the way. I was sweating, and I was out of breath. And then when you're nervous and you're out of breath, and then you start to give yourself anxiety, and then you have to sing, and then that's really hard to do when your body is not with you. But his presence was much more peaceful uh, than one might think. It was much more calm.
At what point did you realize he was sick?
I didn't know what was going on until the day he died. I knew that he was sick. I knew that something was wrong. I think I sensed that, and I think that there was like an unspoken like understanding of that, but it was also a very private matter.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what had happened in detail until, the day he died, which I woke up that morning and we were recording our cast album that day. I was
going to ask about that.
Yeah.
That day?
Yes, that day.
So how did you find out, and then how did that affect your recording?
Well, I was 14, so I was living with my parents. And they came into my room and sat down on my bed. It's time to get up, and we got to talk to you for a minute. And they told me, and I was just like, get out.
Yeah.
Get out. And I just like, I put on a vinyl, and I like listened to, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. And I remember listening to that and just sitting with that. I was crushed. I was devastated. Which is, I didn't know him in a way that would warrant such tears, but I knew what he meant to me, and what he meant to me was very important, and to so many people.
I didn't know him personally at all, and his death in a I don't want to exaggerate, but his death actually changed my life.
No, it definitely did. And my parents drove me to the music studio that we were recording in, and I remember also getting dressed that day and being like, what do I even wear? What do I even wear for this day? I can't put on sweatpants, I remember like overthinking the significance of like things like that day, like there was just, I had such honor and such respect that and he was supposed to, I think, like come to the studio that day. So I think I was like looking forward to and like excited at the idea that maybe he was going to be there while we were recording. And little did I know, he had died that night. So yeah, but I do remember like overthinking the little things like that, just because I wanted so badly to just pay respect more than anything. And like it felt like a day of like honoring and respecting, not just a day of personal mourning. It was like, I have a job to do today, and that is to like honor this and to channel this and record this and put this down is something that somebody can listen to. So the context of that day was just so heavy, and recording those songs with such a heavy heart was not easy. And like I listen to them today, and I'm like, I'm also I'm my own worst critic, sure. So I'll listen to them and I'll be like, I can tell like I had been crying, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think it makes it all the more meaningful. I think that everyone, like if you listen to Kristen sing Changes on the album, like there's just so much emotion in what she's doing. And that day was crazy. I don't want to say it's funny, but that her singing of Changes, she has a kind of a pent-up anger that just explodes. And it's not, the studio recording of David Bowie's version that's on Hunky Dory doesn't have that. No. Right? And that's in the play too, but I mean, you sort of already answered this, but the emotionality of everybody having just gotten the news, does that translate into that cast recording? Yes, of course. Yeah. Of course that energy is going to come through. That was the personal experience of that day. That was the context of that day. So that album also took on a little bit of that. Yeah. If you're watching this and you haven't heard the cast recording, I'd been listening to it for years before I actually saw the play, and it's without the context of the rest of the play, it functions as kind of like a cover album, but it's really good. And it's a funny thing, because after I finally saw the play, the songs take on a completely different context. So I kind of am happy that I was able to listen to it as an album divorced from the context of the play, and then experience them again, because it's as if I hadn't heard them before. Yeah. Yeah, it is like listening to the Cats album. Sometimes I'll put on Heroes from the album. I don't like usually go back and like listen to it, just because I performed it so many times. Like I was saying, I like to like leave it as its moment. But sometimes I will listen to Heroes, because the version that Michael and I did just makes me so happy. Yeah, that version is crazy. Now, I heard a story about that
that song
Tell me.
where I heard that
When
Bowie...
I slid off the stage?
No, I heard that Bowie originally didn't want that song in the play. And have you heard this?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Tell me though. I want to know.
Well, I'm going to get some details wrong, and maybe the whole story is
okay.
wrong. But the way I heard it was Enda Walsh and I don't know if it was Henry Hay or somebody else were working on I guess the script, or whoever it was that was choosing the songs. The way I'd heard it is he didn't want too many of his greatest hits.
Yeah, because it wasn't a jukebox musical.
Yes, that's another question I was going to ask. But he didn't want Heroes because it's one of his more, like, Space Oddity is not in the song, right? So whoever it was that was working on it would say, no, you have to understand, it works here. And he says, I think I better come down to wherever they were. And then he was convinced that it made sense. So the version, it's the last song in the play, and the lyrics are changed, they're altered.
Yes.
And it's all this that we're talking about, while the songs sort of set a mood and they're not literal. Maybe Heroes is the most narrative song in the entire play, especially with the altered lyrics.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and you can be mean, and I'll drink all the time.
Yeah.
It made context, made sense in the context of the show, and yeah, doing that. I mean, I don't sing a lot in that song. I have little parts and I sing at the end, but there's not a lot of like singing happening for me there. That was a moment of like Michael and I. There's a lot of musical space and it's just us on the stage, and there was a lot of us like locking eyes, and the connection and understanding there was like the magic of that song, I think, and seeing it live. So like listening to it, I can kind of like imagine and feel that, but definitely listening to it isn't quite as the same as witnessing what Michael and I were connecting over live.
That line, you could be mean, right? You have this, what I saw, you have this expression on your face that tells this whole story.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Subtext. Yeah. Yes, exactly. You can be mean because he was mean. Michael's amazing, but Newton he's mean. And she's always, making fun of him. Girl is always like, come on. She's a little kid, kind of like poking, like, come on, where's your hope? Stop being such a grump. So I think when you say you can be mean, it's like, I'm making fun of you a little bit. And I'll drink all the time. Yeah, that was, it was just magic doing that every night with Michael. And we had this bit where we slip and slide through my blood, which was milk.
Was it actually milk?
Yes, it was milk.
Okay.
It was milk, and it was very cold because the only way that we could get this like consistency of this there was lots of different things that we tried to like get it to be, but it was actually milk with some kind of strange white coloring, paint like coloring in it, to get it to be like the consistency that Eva wanted. But there was so much of it that it consumed, the whole stage. I just was bleeding this white. And then during the line, I wish I could swim like dolphins can swim. Michael slip and slides. And I remember he did it in rehearsal, I think before we even had the blood. It was just like there's so much space, and he just went for it one day, and it was so funny. And I remember being like, this is funny, like I'm gonna do it now, and then it became this thing, and the song is really it's playful. It's a playful version of the song. It's not like it's not an anthem at all. It's a ballad. It's a piano ballad, and it's It's playful. It's so playful. One time, one show, I did slide off the stage by accident when I was slipping. I slid into an audience member's arms, and this man just like pushed me back on. But yeah, there was
he's on top of it, right?
Yeah, there was definitely technical difficulties with the milk sometimes.
Yeah.
But it was so cold too because it would curdle and wouldn't come out of the spouts if it was warm. So it was like freezing cold. So I'm laying there on stage having to be dead and super still, just with this like ice cold milk like shooting on my back. And yeah, the milk was an ordeal.
So I didn't realize that was your blood, right?
Yes.
That was actually, to me, one of the more confusing. What is it that they're, it looks like milk. But so why is there blood is because for Newton to escape, for Newton to become liberated, he needs to kill you. And for you to become liberated, you need to be killed, and then you come back. And so why am I giving this away? Because it brings us to the name of the play. And I was thinking about how often David Bowie liked to have words with two meanings.
I also love to write my music with double meaning.
Yeah. So you're like Lazarus from the Bible, your character comes back from the dead, but also like Emma Lazarus, the poet who wrote the poem on the Statue of Liberty, Newton is not from here, right? And I mean, this is really crazy. And so you're going to say, why am I talking to this guy? But, I asked you about why this is not America, is your walk-on song. Is there a link between here? This is a story about an alien in America, and the evocation of Emma Lazarus, the poet, and the Statue of Liberty. This is the story of an alien in New York, right? Is there anything? Am I just making that up? Is that just like?
Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, it sort of does, but.
No, I don't think so. I think like the imagination is a great place.
Well, I do think that.
I think that there is a connection.
The title seems like it was deliberately ambiguous.
I don't know. Yes and no. I don't think that. I can't speak on like behalf of him, but I feel that he was very specific. When I look at his work, and I don't see somebody who is like being intentionally cryptic. I think everything seems very specific.
You ever heard the Bowie brothers?
Yes. Yes. He doesn't seem intentionally cryptic. Like everything means something to him, I'm sure. And there's a secret in that. Like there's a secret. I personally don't like lyrics in songs that are over explanatory or like explaining what it is that I am feeling lyrically. Like I like to evoke, and I like it when my lyrics are like my secret. And I and only I know exactly what they mean. So I don't know, there's something to that too.
Yeah.
So I can't say, exactly what it was that was he meant by something, but I think that part of the magic is that we'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know exactly what any of this stuff means. And that's going back to the thing with rock stars being like sort of iconized and like people deciding what something means, or that's something that happens. But the truth is we'll never really know. We'll never really know. But that is the magic. That is the magic. So I almost like don't even go there in my head. I'm like, I will never know exactly what he meant by it. All I know is that my job was to go in and play what I perceived with as much honesty as I possibly could. And that's what I showed in my audition. That's what I brought to it, and that's who he picked to do it. So, and I think everybody that he chose, because he picked everybody that he chose was that.
Yeah. Did he tell you, David Bowie makes no mistakes. Did he tell you what about your audition convinced him that you were the right one?
No, I don't think so. Maybe, and I'll look through that journal when I get home, because I was a furious note taker.
Yeah.
Furious, always taking notes, always writing everything down. I'm sure I'll find something and I will send it to you. No, I'd be curious to see what Henry says about that. I mean, he's told me, that David really liked me and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious, because I wasn't in the room when they decided, So I'd be curious to see what Henry would have to say about that. Maybe he remembers something more. But there is too like an unknowingness from the actor's perspective. I almost like, I mean, I'm not doing it now. At the time, I probably wouldn't have liked to know why, because then I would be aware of it, and then it would be something that I was like doing versus something that was just happening. But yeah, I think that my job was never to go in and like decode his masterpiece. It was to go in and play it honestly.
Well, it's a phenomenal performance.
Thank you.
And it's it's not an easy play to see in person. It's not the Book of Mormon that's performing in every city in the United States right now. But first of all, the soundtrack stands up. The original cast recording stands up on its own. And if you are able to see even a video recording of it, it's it's not one that you just want to see once, especially if you're a Bowie fan. And if you're at this point in the interview and you're not a Bowie fan, well, thank you very much for staying. So, but it's really it's something like one of his albums in that it's worth mulling over and listening to and watching over and over again. And those performances, like that eye contact. Well, I want to sort of wrap this up, because I think we've sort of hit the culmination of this discussion. But the video recording that I saw of it, you are performing for an audience. You're not performing for a camera.
Yes.
Right. And so there's these close-ups for expressions that were not really meant to be seen close up.
Oh yes, I also still am, but particularly then, a very expressive, very flexible face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of acting, right, than if you're doing a movie. Yeah.
Totally different. I think also at that point in time, I hadn't done as much TV and film as I have now. But I also, I wouldn't change a thing, because we were there to capture what was going on, what the complete performance was, not to like change it for the camera. So I think, I remember seeing it for the first time. The first time I saw it, it was in front of the recording. It was in front of a audience at King's Theater in Brooklyn, and the original band was playing along with the screening. And I remember like, whoa, my face is really big up there.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change a thing. I think it totally just captured what the show was in the context of the London production, which was different than the New York production, a little bit, but mostly the same.
Yeah. No, the reason I mention it is because it's like, when I say it's worth not just seeing once, that those facial expressions, the little body movements are part of what's worth sort of mulling over and sort of.
Oh yeah, I think every detail, counts for sure.
Yeah.
Every detail counts, and things that I did, to it was like I was telling you, it was different every night, and each thing sort of had its own meaning every night. But there was definitely like choices that I made as an actor, or like things that happened that were specific, that yes, the details matter is the point. Totally. Like even I remember I had this like sort of choreography in This Is Not America. I stood behind his head, and in the musical break, I went like this to his head, and then I went like this on my arms. What does it mean? You tell me. You tell me.
You create that. That's not something you're being
Well,
directed to do.
Annie B helped with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that's consistent every night.
Yeah.
That's something that I did every night, but each night it did have a different meaning to me, you know? This could mean anything. We're walking down the road, this is me entering. Oh wow, look, you know what I mean? It could mean anything really. Yeah. But yeah, Annie B helped design all of those movements, and they were super specific. So those things stayed in every night. But the meaning of them in my own head, I kept pretty fresh. Yeah.
If you read different interviews with Bowie, he's the worst source for getting a better understanding of what his own songs are about, because he contradicts himself, from interview to interview. The one thing that he's consistent about is he encourages the audience to bring their own interpretation to his work and to art in general.
Yeah. That's what I'm all about. I really think that's what it is. I mean, that's what I did with the material every night, Like there was a consistent through line. Of course, we have to all stay in the same show and in the same world, but deeper meanings found every night for sure. And that's why I'm also like, does it matter? When you ask me like, what did this mean? Or am I crazy? Am I making this up? I'm like, well, does it matter? It doesn't matter. It's your interpretation.
It's funny. All the musicians that I've talked to who work with Bowie, I've stopped asking the question about what does the song mean or what does the lyrics mean to you, because to a person, it's like, it sounded right, or it's like, it's a way to show off my voice or something like that. It's like, what does it mean? It's like, all right, I don't really care. It's like,
I find a lot of meaning in them, and interpreting them, but I think it's different for everybody, Like Rock and Roll Suicide, I'll find it and send you a picture, and you can put it up on the screen or whatever you want to do with it. Of my notes last year because I printed out the lyrics and like kind of went through them in the same way that I would like a monologue or how I would in the show, and I kind of took them and wrote between the lines what I thought, what my interpretation or what it meant to me is. But I think that's different. It's different for everybody. Like some stuff I wrote there, some people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
How about I know what it means? Like that's my secret. That's my secret meaning.
That's great.
Yeah.
So this has been an intense and really meaningful conversation. I'm so appreciative of the time you've been giving to me and your honesty, and it's really been my privilege to be able to talk with you. I want to end with a practical question and a silly question.
Okay, I love silly. I love goofy people.
Okay, I am a goofy person.
Oh,
I don't know
too.
if that's coming through, but I
am too, believe it or not.
I take your word for it, although this has been a serious conversation. So the practical question is this. It's like, okay, so at this point, everybody's like, they want more Sophia Anne Caruso. What's next? Where can they see you? Where can they hear you? They're hearing about these songs you're writing and you're recording.
Yeah.
Where could we get more of you?
More of me. What's interesting that I've been doing recently is I've been ghostwriting. Music. So there's little bits of me around, and will be more. I am also working on an EP, and working on music. I took a sort of break from music for a while, and I was really just focused on acting and my other artistic practices. And I think that music is so important to me, and it's also a touchy subject, and I'm very sensitive about it. I'm very sensitive to like people telling me what to do. And I think for a while I kind of was like, well, if people are going to have an opinion about it, or people are going to try and tell me what to do with the music, or it's going to become this like commodified thing, or like having a music manager or a label, like all this stuff. Like I don't want to be like a rock star or a pop star. You know, I was like, no, this is sacred to me. This is not fun and games. This is not like a thing. This is sacred to me. I think that unfortunately it resulted in me hoarding all of my music and refusing to share it with the world out of control, which I am relinquishing now. And I'm going to put out music, and that's really exciting. And if people like it, they like it. So I will be releasing music. I can't tell you exactly when. I'm working on it all right now. And I'm not in any rush. I'm not in any rush to, you know, I'm doing it on my own time.
Yeah.
I'm not on anybody's schedule with the music except for my own. And I'm trying to make things that matter to me and are of quality, and that don't feel like I'm selling out.
Yeah.
That's really important to me. And it also just means sometimes that the output can be slower into the world. So long story short, I'm working on that. And I have more theater that I'm working on, that I have in development, and some, just chugging along with my acting. I have a TV show coming out in early 2026.
What's that?
One Piece. Yeah. It's a live action adaptation of the original Japanese manga. Yeah. And that's very exciting. I had a lot of fun.
And you were a villain?
Doing that. Yes.
Yeah.
I was a villain. Yeah, so that was so much fun to do, and that was for Netflix too, and I love working for them. So, I'm just chugging along and making my paintings and basically just living my life as a creative and as an artist, and what comes of that and what comes out of it is what happens.
Well, that's wonderful, and I think we're going to be able to experience that for a long time to come.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but when you release your EP, if this has not been a horrible experience, if you would come back on the show and just talk about the EP.
Yes, I will. Yeah. Absolutely. I will absolutely talk about the EP. Yeah, I've been making music with a new friend of mine, Jake, and just in Brooklyn, in a little attic in Brooklyn, we've been making this, and it was funny. We've just been jamming. There was no like goal per se. We're like jamming every week and writing music. And I saw him last week. He's like, "So, what do you want to work on today? Because you kind of have enough for an EP. What do you want to do with all these songs?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess we'll do an EP." I hadn't thought of it. I just was like, yeah, I'm jamming. Like we're just making tunes, and like, I'm making it to make it. I'm making it to create, because that's what I meant to do. Yeah. I'm not like thinking so far into the future. Like I'm not thinking like I want to release an album and I'm going to make it now. Like I'm just like, I'm making the thing and it's gonna happen. So yeah, the decision to do an EP came about like a week ago. And that day
breaking news.
It's breaking news. It's breaking news. We truly sat there and like decided that it was going to be like a small EP, and that we had enough. And now I'm kind of finding some through line, and I have, I think, one more song to write that's like maybe a more challenging song to write. So I'm excited about that, to kind of make it feel complete, to like complete the idea. Because even though there was no like intention of I want to make an album about this thing, all of the songs kind of can go together because they're all related to whatever experience I'm having now. So there already is a through line in them. It's that's just it came to be. It was not like a forced, I'm writing a song about heartbreak. It just whatever happened was. I love talking about music and making music and how I make it, and I will gladly come on and talk more about that.
Wonderful. Now I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So here's a silly question.
So tell me.
I close almost all my interviews with the same question, which is, what's your favorite Bowie song and what's your favorite Bowie album?
Oh, come on. There's
I know.
what?
So here's a caveat. You could say it will be different tomorrow. So
Well,
what
it
is your
certainly
favorite
will.
song and album today?
My favorite song and album today, Girl Loves Me on Black Star. That's my favorite song today.
That is the first time anybody gave me that as the answer. But what a devastating song.
Girl Loves Me.
Yeah. So that must have a special meaning to you.
Yes, it does. I remember
Yeah.
the first time I heard it and I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Girl most certainly does.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite one today, for sure. But usually it's oh my goodness, there's so much. Oh gosh, they're all so good, man. I can't pick. Vintage Daydream.
Yeah. Can I tell you? It's not stupid. I was gonna say stupid. It's not stupid at all. That song. So the day he died was a Sunday. The way I learned he died, I get up on a Monday morning. I go down. I open my iPad to read the news, and there's this news alert. And I had been listening to Black Star for like a week because it had been out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the line in the song. I might have to bleep this out, but where the fuck did Monday go?
Love
right?
that song.
And it's like he was talking to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, I never met the man, right? The closest I came to him was in concert.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I also love that song.
Yeah.
It's that one's super catchy, actually. That one really gets. You know what else I love is Cracked Actor.
Sure, yeah.
Crack, baby, crack. Show me your ear. So good. I love that one. That's when I'll listen to get pumped up when I'm getting putting on my leather jacket and get ready to go.
For years, I thought the evocation of a 50-year-old was a really old guy, and now that I'm 56, I'm like, why did he settle on somebody so young? Doesn't he want the decrepit actor to be 80?
Interesting. I'm interesting. You have a 50-year-old actor. I don't know. A 50-year-old female actor is different than a 50-year-old male actor.
Probably would behave different than the character in the song too.
Well, probably.
In certain specific ways.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I hadn't really thought of it like that. That's I love that. Get pumped up to that one. This is a really, maybe more a deep cut random one, but you know what I used to love to listen to is Soul Love.
Sure.
I just love the sound. I love the sound of it. I love the sonic. The sonic file is great. But I remember this. I'm talking. I used to, meaning this was in Lazarus days. I love that album and that song for whatever reason. I loved listening to that one on repeat, and Sound and Vision too. And I think that's why I was getting those nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was on my going home after the show playlist or whatever. I was doing the show and then listening to Bowie after the show. So I was very in the energy all the time. I was very channeled in the energy all the time. Yeah.
And what about an album?
An album? The Rise and Fall.
Yeah.
And Black Star. Yeah. Yeah, I Black Star though really is it's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite, yeah.
It's amazing that it's a lot of people's favorites, when we're in 2025 while we're recording this, at the beginning of the year there were a number of music publications that had top 100 songs of the 21st century, and that was near the top of every list that I saw. Oh, it's an amazing piece of work.
Yeah.
So of course, so is Ziggy, but Ziggy's
yes.
We've thought that for years.
Yes, I had a feeling you were going to ask me that, and I thought about it, and I was like, I'm just going to answer in the moment. Yeah. But I can kind of confidently say that my consistently favorite one is Black Star. Yeah. It's the last thing we have. It's the last thing we're left with. it's also, there's something about it that just fits in any situation. Like I
I don't know
walk.
that I agree with that.
See, I do.
Yeah, okay.
There's a song on there for every moment for me. So like when I was coming here today, I also am a big fan of just like actually listening to music, sitting and listening to it, and not like, you know, not having it be like background. Like I believe in like listening to the music and being with it, being present with the music. But Black Star, like when I put on Lazarus and I'm like walking down the street, there's something about it that's like, oh, like it hits on a walk. I love to put on Black Star and go for a walk. Try it. Go for a walk on a rainy day listening to Black Star. It fits for me. It fits for me. It's a dark album, but I don't, you know, maybe I'm just dark or something. I don't know. I don't know. But there's humor in it too. Where the fuck did Monday go? Yes. And you know, Girl Loves Me. There's some kind of like gibberish in there. Like there's something there's a humor to it for me, that there's moments where I'm like laughing, you know? So I don't think it's just a dark album, and it is not only in the context of his passing for me. Like I find humor in it, and I find artistry that isn't just about death. So yeah.
It's you know, I don't mean to extend this, but it's interesting to think if that wasn't his last album, how we would receive it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's a good thought exercise. Yeah. Like when you go on a walk and listen to Black Star, follow my advice. Yeah, think about that.
I think going for a walk, listening to Black Star is different. I say this because I live in Albany. I live basically in the woods. Even though I live in the city of Albany, there's this wooded area is where I live, and I go on a lot of walks listening to David Bowie in the woods. I think walking around Manhattan or Brooklyn listening to Black Star is a different experience than walking in the woods and listening to Black Star.
Yeah, well, I also spend a lot of time in nature. Yeah. Yeah, no plan while walking down 2nd Avenue. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something to that, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Sophia Anne Caruso, this has really been wonderful. It's very special. Yes. It's very special to me. Yeah. And I really appreciate that.
Me too. It's so great to reminisce. Yeah. Reminisce and think about it. It was weird waking up today and being like, wow, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. Crazy. 10 years, and I somehow still haven't lost that pin he gave me. But you know what's really crazy?
Never lose it.
Oh, I will never. Yeah. I will not lose it. But what's crazy is that that was an opening night gift, and he also wrote me a card on opening night. The card was stolen. The pin was not. The card was stolen from me. So I don't remember what it said.
How? Where was it that it was stolen?
I think it was like at the after party with my things in like coat check or something. But it was lost. But it was like written with the thing, and I don't remember what it said. Yeah. So that's a mystery.
Well, now it said whatever you wanted to have said.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Well, anyway.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course.